In the shadow of the Jordan River, the Israelites prepared for the final leg of their journey into the Promised Land. Before them stood the mighty city of Jericho, its high walls looming like an unbreakable fortress. Joshua, the leader of the Israelites after Moses, knew they needed a strategy to overcome this first great obstacle. Joshua called for 2 trusted men, seasoned and brave, to undertake a dangerous mission. "Go," Joshua instructed, "spy out the land, especially Jericho. Bring back a report on the city's defenses, its people, and its vulnerabilities." The 2 spies, their identities kept secret for safety, slipped quietly out of the Israelite camp at night. They crossed the Jordan River and approached the heavily fortified city of Jericho under the cover of darkness. Disguised as travelers, they entered the city without drawing attention. Once inside, they sought refuge in the house of Rahab, a woman whose home was built into the city's wall. Rahab, a woman with a reputation, had heard whispers of the God of Israel and the mighty deeds he had done. Fear had gripped the hearts of Jericho's inhabitants. The stories of how God parted the Red Sea and defeated powerful kings filled them with dread. Rahab, unlike the others, believed that this God was powerful and that Jericho would fall. Unbeknownst to the spies, word had already reached the king of Jericho that foreigners had entered the city to spy on it. Soldiers were dispatched to Rahab's house with orders to capture the spies. Rahab, however, chose to protect them. When the soldiers knocked on her door, she hid the 2 men on her roof under bundles of flax stalks. Then, facing the king's men, she said, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they were from. At dusk, when it was time to close the city gate, they left. I don't know where they went, but if you hurry, you might catch them." The soldiers quickly set off in pursuit, believing Rahab's lie. Once the coast was clear, Rahab went to the spies on her roof. Her voice was steady, yet her eyes held the weight of her decision. "I know that the Lord has given this land to you," she said. "A great fear of you has fallen on us, and all who live in this country are melting in fear because of you. We have heard how the Lord dried up the Red Sea for you and how you destroyed the kings of the Amorites. When we heard of it, our hearts melted, and everyone's courage failed because of you, for the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on the earth below." Then she made a plea. "Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family, because I have shown kindness to you. Spare the lives of my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and save us from death." The spies agreed, and they made a solemn oath to Rahab. "Our lives for your lives. If you don't tell what we are doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives us this land." Rahab then helped the men escape. Her house, being part of the city wall, had a window that looked out beyond Jericho. She lowered a rope from the window, and the spies climbed down, vanishing into the night. But before they left, they gave Rahab a scarlet cord and told her, "Tie this cord in your window. When we come to conquer the city, anyone inside your house with this cord will be spared. But if they are outside, we cannot guarantee their safety." The spies hid in the hills for 3 days, just as Rahab advised, until the king's men gave up the search. Once the coast was clear, they returned to Joshua with their report, "The Lord has surely given the whole land into our hands. All the people are melting in fear because of us." Rahab's faith and courage played a pivotal role in the fall of Jericho. When the Israelites later marched around Jericho and the walls came tumbling down, Rahab and her family were spared, just as the spies had promised. She and her family were brought into the Israelite camp and lived among them from that day forward. Through Rahab, we see that faith and trust in God can lead to salvation, even for those outside of Israel. Her lineage would later become significant, as she would be an ancestor of King David and, ultimately, of Jesus Christ. This story highlights themes of faith, redemption, and the fulfillment of God's promises, showing how one woman's courage changed the course of history.